It's Gianna Lum at Convincing Crypto, where we keep you in the loop on all the latest trends and news on crypto and blockchain technology. Today, we have two very special guests on our show. We have Shawn and Michiel. They're from Profila, and we've actually had this project on the show before, so they have some new updates for us today. If you want to wave at the camera, you can, you guys.
Hey
Hey,
guys, hey everyone.
thanks for having us again.
Of course, yeah, it's great to chat with you again. So for anyone who's new to your project, do you want to explain what Profila is and yeah, what are the use cases? What's the utility on Cardano?
Perfect. So thank you, Gianna. And for anyone who's new to us, we took the challenge to solve for privacy a couple of years ago. And we actually started doing research with CERN in Geneva, the birthplace of the web. And to cut a long story short, we've actually come up with a new data relationship platform because we're sick and tired of surveillance and those nudging algorithms that make you watch endless hours of content that's not always valuable to you. So Profila it's almost like a mashup of Salesforce and Instagram, but better without that surveillance and without bad data. So we built a new way actually for people to create a profile of themselves and actually share it with brands in exchange for value. Now, a lot of people in the market think that you have to sell your data. So on Profila, we never sell data. We only allow you to lease it to a company for a duration and purpose. So if they need your data to give you the best offer, the best service, be it Nike, be it a doctor, be it your banker, that is all good on Profila. Then they can actually ask for your data, and there's where the Web3 comes in. We have a cool smart contract developed on Cardano using the Aiken language, which helps the company to subscribe to your data. And then you will get a nice NFT in your wallet, which shows that there is a legal contract between the two parties. We leave the pricing up to the market. So we're not trying to force brands to pay a certain amount for your data. What's more valuable to us is what you get out of the relationship. Because as soon as you've shared the right amount of data with a company that's totally anonymous, okay, and that's a nice thing about Profila is we're using cool technology like multi-party computation and also zero-knowledge proofs to be able to protect your data so that the brand and the company only gets the insights they need to be able to target you with products and services. And no matter what anyone says, you know, if you like a brand and you like a team or you like an event, you want to see the content, but when you want to. So in the platform, we've also built out a preference center so that you're in control. If you've seen too much, you turn the volume down. If you want to see more, you turn the volume up, but all whilst preserving your privacy. So I think it's quite a revolutionary step because many people think they don't know how to do this. That's what Profila is here for. It's an intuitive new platform for you to control your internet experiences. And brands also are hesitant to say, well, you know, do I really put control back into the hands of my customers? And we try to remind them every single week when we're pitching and talking to them that the customer is king. So yes, let them tell you what they want. And that's a bit of summary of Profila and where we are today.
Thanks for the recap. Yeah, I know in my previous interview with Michiel, he shared that, yeah, even if you really do like a brand, you don't want to be bombarded every single day with more advertising. Maybe I think his example was maybe if like one or two times a year you buy a pair of running shoes, you want to know what are the deals, what's out there when you actually want them. If it's coming out every single week or every single month, like that gets annoying and that doesn't make sense for the company either. That's wasting your time, your resources, and yeah, I think that creates better relationships between people too and
Yeah,
empowers
and,
every.
and, uh, and I think often we're also looking for products or we're looking for new
Mhm.
brands. I saw a funny post by Shawn a couple of days ago where somebody was saying, no, I'm not interested in multiple toilet seats because I bought one toilet seat. And then weeks and weeks afterwards, he was getting ads from different kind of toilet seat. He said, look, I just need one toilet seat, which I bought. So now it can stop. So that's like a funny example, of course. But let's say you want to you feel a bit too heavy after the holidays and you want to start sporting and you want to look for maybe like running stuff, running nutrition, running shoes. If you start Googling this, it's never ending. Maybe 2 weeks later, you start smoking and drinking again and you forget about your intention to go run, but you'll receive these ads for weeks and weeks after. So I think in Profile, you can talk to the existing brands that you have from which you buy products and services so that they understand better who you are and how you want to be serviced to. So an existing running shoe company then knows they might have to send you only one ad per year if you want to renew your shoes. But you could also use Profile to be anonymous while you search for new brands and new products and new services. So often we call ourselves the next generation of Brave, because of course we are way more than just a privacy browser, but a lot of people know Brave, so hence the comparison. Where in Brave you can be anonymous while you're looking for products and services, and then if you get ads, the brand who sends the ad doesn't necessarily know who you are. And so we call this, it's already amazing what they did, but we call this passive zero knowledge advertising, or passive anonymized advertising, because yes, it's great, but you don't really decide what you're getting in terms of ads. It's still Brave who decides based on your browser history what is coming. Whereas in Profile, you're completely in control, so you can decide what kind of brands you want to get content from.
What's nice with that is it's actually based on research we did with the University of Madrid. And we developed a protocol called the Zero Knowledge Advertising Protocol. And that defined what Profiler is building as an active advertising platform, whereas you, the individual, can decide who and what you see. And that it sounds revolutionary when you put a protocol behind it, but it's actually so simple. When you walk into a store, somebody asks you, how may I serve you? What do you want? And that's what we're trying to replicate in Profiler, but putting all those protection layers in place. And I think that's where our token and zero knowledge comes into play. We've always had this theme of zero. So first it started with zero surveillance, then zero algorithms that nudge you. And then it came into zero knowledge technologies and privacy preserving technologies in blockchain. So our token is the zero knowledge token, Zeek in short, and we actually got a great mascot for it, which is a Saint Bernard in Switzerland, because that represents strength and also loyalty, but very protective, and also it's known as to be a rescue dog. So that token represents several things in our platform where it comes to a utility and payments. And I think it's very important to differentiate, as Michiel said, as to where we're different from the current competitors, which I think have done a great job in bringing awareness to people that your data is valuable. And this reminds me of research we did in the University of St. Gallen here in Switzerland, where the students told us, we love privacy, but we're apathetic. Make it easy for us. Second, we know our data is valuable, but how do you actually monetize it? Because at the time, and even now, people are trying to pay you $20, $30, and maybe for all of your medical history, you'll get up to $1,000 or so. That's not a lot of money, okay? But if you hold that data back as to what am I going to do, so where am I going to spend my money next, that is a massive opportunity for brands. They are dying to know where you're going to spend your cash. So if you hold that back and then you share it at the moment of transaction, that's what we're trying to teach people on Profiler, then you are all powerful. Okay, because if you're going in to buy a Ferrari or a pair of sneakers, then you have that strength. So that's more the philosophy of Profiler is, and as part of our vision statement, which was human agency first, because some people want total privacy and some people want to share everything. That's cool. The second is privacy, to what level, and then in exchange for value. And I think if we get that right, in this modern era, then we'll be flipping the tables on these big tech companies that have the monopoly at the moment over your data.
It's an opt-in rather than an opt-out.
Correct.
So I want to know more about, I know your IDO just launched on MinSwap, I believe, right? You want to talk more about your initial DEX offering and more about, your token and what you're offering for people with that.
Yeah, so actually our token sales started already a while ago. It's about like a year and a half, which was the pre-seed and the seed round, which was raising from friends, fools, family, and VC investors. And we were actually planning to do an IDO at I think it was May or June 2022 when the market just crashed. At that time, it was on OccamFi, so we had a partnership with OccamFi to do so. And the last year and a half, we've just been building, because we have about 13 Catalyst projects in the pipeline, of which 12 Catalyst projects have been submitted. So that's what we did the last year and a half, build our Web2 product more out, and then finalize all of these Web3 POCs and integrate them in the Web2 product. And so now market is going into the right direction again. So that's the time for us to launch the public sale of our token. This time not on OccamFi, but we're doing it on MinSwap. Long discussion if we would do an LBE like Fluid tokens or like smart places, or if we would go for an IDO. But now with MinSwap's new IDO platform that's available since the beginning of October, we chose to do an IDO. And you've seen already, I think, 3 projects now. I think Pond went, Cerberus did a successful one, and Sync AI as well. And so I think Tokyo is actually starting as of today, so that's the 4th one. And we would then normally be the 5th one in the first week of December. And so we have about 35% of the tokens that are for the community, but most of them will be distributed for free in the app. For free, it's actually for activity in the app, let's say. It's so because we understand people might have to spend a little bit of time and effort building up their profile, putting all their personal information in, managing these relationships with brands. We want to nudge them to do so. And so a lot of the tokens will be distributed just to people who are active on the platform. And it's about 1.5% to 2% of the tokens, which will be then sold through the IDO, which is a small raise just before we launch then on the decentralized exchange of MinSwap.
Great. That's really rewarding people too, and recognizing the time that it takes for people.
Yeah, and it's a new thing. People never had to do it, and even though it's beneficial for them, we think this token will help. We know, for example, that gamifying applications like Duolingo, where you have to learn by just giving you points, really helps a lot. And so we take that a step further and not only give you points, but give you points and tokens, and these tokens can then be redeemed for products and services, or you could just cash them out as well. And then if you were paid, that's maybe also an important one to mention. If a brand spends $1 on Facebook to try to get your attention, the chance is big that it's not getting your attention because the ad is not personalized, and maybe it doesn't come at the right time, or maybe it's that 3rd toilet seat that you don't want to buy. And all of the money goes to Facebook. If a brand would spend an ad dollar on Profila, it is the consumer who said that they wanted to receive an ad about that product via the Profila channel at that specific moment in time, because that's the tools we give a consumer. And so we split that dollar, and Profila only keeps 50%. And the other 50 cents of the dollar is paid out to the consumer who actually consumes the ad. And we're also paying out people in Zeek tokens. So you can earn them via the app. It's a utility token, and then it's also used as a payment token.
Cool.
Just to add on that, I mean, it's something which we learned from Brave, which gave you a little bit of a payout for basic attention, they called it at the stage. But we're taking that, I think, a huge step forward, because on Profila, there's the amount of money that the industry spends on digital advertising is near $900 billion on advertising, but digital is $300-400 billion, give around. But any dollar that comes into Profila for advertising, and Michiel said it is a 50-50 split, but we're even getting more generous over time, that as people improve the quality of their Profila, that can get up to 90%. So if you've got a data set which is a perfect match for a brand, and you maintain that data, because that's work, then you get more of the reward. Okay, remember, this isn't a huge amount of money for an individual, but it actually does send a huge amount of money into the tokenomics of the token, okay, because you've got a utility of rewards, which is from our pool, where we incentivize you to build that good profile. And when the advertisers see that great profile, then they pay for your data through a data subscription, and they pay for advertising to you. And then 50 to 90% of that, we receive it in fiat. We convert it to Zeek at time of payout every month once you've accrued it. and that can be cashed out to your own wallet. And we're actually partnering with iohk to make that whole process a lot easier. It's an announcement coming up soon. But as I mentioned, for the data subscription side, you get an NFT that represents the relationship. So you're confident that the brand isn't abusing your data. And then every month that goes past in that period, you're receiving little payouts of cash. And then every ad that you actually pay attention to, then you receive a payout for looking at that ad. The only time we'll nudge you on the platform is if you don't look at the content. Okay, because then you're wasting your own time and the brand's time. So we'd rather ask you, well, if you didn't look at it, do you want to pause a feed from that brand for a while? Totally counterintuitive to the force feeding on Instagram and Facebook today. And that's what we want, is that if people come to Profila, it's because they're viewing information and content that they absolutely want to see. And I think that's the huge paradigm shift. But if people think about, the flow of the tokenomics and what Zeek would represent, then it not only represents you to a brand, because if your profile is good, it will be represented through Zeek to the brand, but then also through your attention. So are you actually a loyal customer or not?
I know you also have your Project Catalyst proposal for Fund 13. Do you want to talk more about that and what do you hope to get from that?
Perfect. So on Fund 12, which is also exciting news, we were awarded to be the first people to bring multi-party computation to Cardano. So everyone knows that Charles is building Midnight, and the privacy chain aspect of Cardano, is massive, because people have realized that whatever Cardano does is fantastic, but it's public. And you need to have an element which is private. And that's why Midnight is being born. And they focus on the zero knowledge proof side. And we have partnered with Partisia, which is also friendly with Midnight, and they're all in the same discussions, but they bring a brand new technology of multi-party computation. And in our use case, that is very important. And quite simply, what it allows us to do is it's a many-to-many scenario of a brand asking to see data sets of tens of thousands or millions of people, and to understand, what is Gianna like or what is Michiel like, but without seeing any of their data. So it's an advancement of confidential compute where we can actually run those queries and give the brands the information they need, but by totally protecting your data set. So it is probably the utopia, of the industry. And it has a massive impact on privacy and privacy preserving tech for companies. So that's the Fund 12, and we're very excited to be the first ones to build that on Cardano.
Yeah.
Which is, it's probably the biggest breakthrough. And the guys are a little bit jealous because zero knowledge proofs are awesome, but they serve one point of data, and they can only give you a yes, no answer for one point of data, where MPC can do multiple points of data to multiple sources. So it is quite a change. And then Fund 13, and thanks for asking, we've partnered with a company in Switzerland called Ammer and Ammer Wallet, because they also loved what Profila is building as far as value to brands and people on how do you pay and transact and move that cash around that you're going to be earning. And they have a strategic relationship with Telegram for many years. So the project with Ammer is to bring the 1 billion users nearly from Telegram to Cardano, so that we can make payments on Telegram through a message. Okay. And I tested it out the other day, and you can simply attach to Michiel as a message. And if you've got your wallet attached, then we can actually send a payment to each other across a message. And the next cool thing is, if you're running a small business, you can actually, from the wallet, create an invoice, and the person can pay you through a message on Telegram with ADA. So ADA and Cardano currency isn't on Telegram yet in this deeply integrated way, and that's what we're hoping to bring. So if people are looking at TVL and transaction volumes and so on for Cardano, this is one of the projects that will actually bring that. So we're very excited for that Fund 13. And then maybe, Michiel, you can talk about the Unbox relationship.
Yeah. So Often when we pitch to brands, and we've pitched to a lot of brands, more than 100, they say, but if I give you my data sets, are you then going to give that to my competitor? Or if people share a lot of information, will the competitor also see that? And if I pay for the for attention of my users, will that money that I give them to a consumer be used to, let's say, book a hotel at a competitor hotel? And often we say, look, it's the consumer who's in control and who shares it only with you, and you invite your own consumer. So we had a way of easing that question.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, we've actually partnered with Unbox, and Unbox is an Antwerp-based company. So they're a Belgian-based company who are building on Cardano, and they're making smart programmable tokens. What does this mean? It means that you can actually put smart contracts or conditions onto a token or onto the use of a token. That applies to Profila. Giving an example, if we do a trial with BMW, and BMW would pay its BMW customers for their data, a BMW token could be generated that would allow a consumer to only spend it on BMW related products and services. So BMW knows that its advertising budget goes half to its consumers, which comes half back to its wallet by the consumers who buy products and services from BMW. So this is a great piece of technology that Unbox has developed, which they've already used for very cool use cases. I'll give you another one. Belgian government relief funds during COVID were distributed to Belgian citizens via smart programmable tokens, so that they could only be used for certain kind of products and services. Of course, you don't want people to go buy cigarettes and alcohol with your COVID relief funds. So this was already a use case that they successfully adopted. And now for Profile, this is a no-brainer. This would work very well for brands if we can guarantee them that their marketing dollars are going to come back to them this way.
Shawn, do you want to add anything?
No, it's Michiel gave a great description, and the proposal that we've got in is actually to offer it as a loyalty offering to the brands who come onto Profila. So any brand who signs up could then decide, okay, Zeek is the base for the transaction layer, which is our token, and they can mint their own token for their own loyalty program on Profila. So it makes it very, very scalable, and it keeps all of those loyalty programs on Cardano too. So we're doing trials at the moment with 3 different companies. One is a Ferrari reseller in South Africa, and their use case is very unique in that they've got high-end individuals who want to hide their data but also want access to the best offers. So if they had a private channel like Profila, then that would be great. They all get the offer at the same time. That company could mint their own token, and then, as Michiel said, could do these small payouts, which are more gestures of trust and faith, but they could also, as you know, be linked to events and come to the race day or come to the Formula One at Las Vegas, if that was programmed into the token. So it really gives a huge amount of flexibility to companies to change what traditionally has been very boring loyalty programs. And I think that's something we're very excited about redefining on Profila. So I think what you can see is, we're obsessed with what does this new relationship look like, but so obsessed that it's actually gone back to basics, which is if I'd walked into your store and asked you, I'm just browsing, leave me alone, that means don't ever track me, you don't need to know my name. But if I love the store and I want to be known by my name and I want to tell you my preferences, then you'll do that. And that's what Profila represents in the real world.
And you're offering the service to help the brands as well mint their own Cardano native token. You do that all on your end, or are you teaching them also just how Cardano works, how to mint? Are you providing that education?
We'll provide the education. That's part of the partnership with Unbox.
Okay.
So when we have the programmable token, we'll sit with each of the companies and onboard them to Profila. So we're actually doing a setup of a demo now for a big soccer team, and it it takes about 45 minutes and the whole company is set up and they can do their first ad campaign on Profila. So it is really fast. But then to mint the token with Unbox will take a little bit more time and education, because we have to understand what their triggers are. And some of the features in Profiler and what we like is if you answer a survey, and we've got a new approach to that, in that you self-assess. So let's say you fill in a survey about your preferences for the color of a car or the type of event you like to go to. If that trigger comes up for a marketing campaign, we can actually filter people without knowing that it's you, and then a highly targeted piece of content will come through. And that's also what the token will register, is that this was the criteria for the token reward to kick in. So either it can be an ad or it can be a compensation for your activity. So I'm trying to coin a new phrase, and maybe whoever's watching the community can help us, because it's not traditional DeFi, but we are talking here about people monetizing their data and attention, which is personal finance. So maybe we can have digital personal finance or something popping up, but DeFi doesn't exist without you spending your money in the first place. And you only spend your money if you know what you want. And that's what Profila is helping you to do.
Maybe MeFi or something.
Oh, I love that. There we go, Michiel. MeFi. Oh, you just came up with that. I'm going to try that out and
Try
see
that.
how it
We'll ask people
goes.
in the comments though if they have any other ideas. You heard it first here. MeFi.
You heard it first here, everyone. MeFi is the next mega trend in 2025.
Yeah, anything else you want to share with our audience before we go? Anything you're looking forward to? Anything you can share that's maybe not top secret yet?
Yeah, I think it's more just the excitement that, wow, I mean, what a couple of weeks Cardano and crypto has had, right? So a lot of projects that have been grinding for years, and we've been going for several years. We started as a research project, but we now have a platform. We have brands trialing with us, and we are talking to some very big global brands. But we need the confidence of the community. Very often, the tech community looks at infrastructure and protocols, and they overlook the apps that are going to make those infrastructure and protocols famous. So that's what we're asking the community, is look deeper at Profila and understand that a platform like this is scalable to $1 billion business, and we've got proof of that. And it is built on Cardano. Okay, so if we're looking at adoption into the ecosystem, I think we're one of the best use cases for real world application. Plus, it solves two of the biggest problems in history, which is the privacy dilemma and also the conditioning of people's minds through technology. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Is we started with a mission. We're doing this for a good reason, but it is also going to be a highly profitable business. Michiel.
Yeah, no, I think we went through everything. Follow us definitely on X so you can see the updates for our token sale in the coming weeks. And I hope everybody registered. I think it's going to close in the next 30 minutes. Register to vote for Catalyst.
Oh yeah, do that.
We have the two projects that are in Fund 13. And so those who've registered to vote, find them. Those who didn't register to vote, I think you have half an hour left. It should just be enough. Go to iohk, register your wallet, open the Catalyst voting app on your phone, and then you can participate.
We'll see if this goes out live, but if not, then afterwards vote for us with your wallet. Okay.
I'll do a tweet about it now so that people see it within the next 30
exactly
minutes.
for all
But I think this video will be up in like 2 hours.
I doubt a lot of people will drop everything they're doing to go quickly register if they didn't do it yet. But if not, maybe for next round that people are prepared to register votes.
Sounds good. I'll link all your info down below so people can check it out too and read for themselves.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you so much, Shawn and Michiel. And yeah, I love having these combos with you. So anytime,
thank you for your time.
Share more.
Thanks, Gianna.
Thank you.
Perfect. Cheers, everybody, and vote.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
That's it for us today. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. And feel free to share this with your friends if you enjoy this content. And we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye. Wave.